Alrighty team, welcome. Hope we're all doing well, ladies and gents. Welcome to another big week on the charts. Looking forward to see what we can come up with moving forward this week, and in particular here today to begin the week. So once again guys, hope you all had a great weekend. I hope you all, those did celebrate Mother's Day, hope you all had a good Mother's Day. And back on the charts, and as always guys, good morning, good afternoon, and very good evening, no matter where we are right around this world. So as always, big week ahead. We're gonna have a look at both GJ and gold. We'll also, let's take a look at the news to begin to see if there is anything in regards to scheduled news release for our session here today. And as we can see, there is no news to be released. Well, that should have much of an impact anyway during our session here today. We do have a board member for the Bank of England, obviously, speaking later today, but we don't think that will have much of an impact. Well, might not even be on stream for that either way. But anyway guys, you know the drill. If you could smash that like button, got those of you on YouTube, TikTok, make sure to smash that screen for me. Let's get everyone onto the stream, and let's start with the analysis guys. In the meantime, questions or charts, feel free to send those in and I will get to those shortly. But guys, let's get underway and let's have a look with, well, as we always do, let's start with the gold. So a very interesting thing on both gold and GJ, they're both open with not creating a wick in the opposite direction to the way they're currently forming. So gold weekly, the back of the previous day is a weak bullish candle. It's closed close to its low and its high, but still kind of engulfed, not quite the high of that bearish candle, but engulfed the body. So normally in itself, that would suggest there's a lot of strength behind that candle in comparison to the previous. But it's a bit of an in-between one. It's considering it closed close to its low and its high. So we'll have to obviously go down the high frames to make more out of that. But we are, however, weak bullish. What we can see is the current candle has just dropped at the open. It's open with a big move down. It's not creating up a wick. You guys know how I feel about that. We don't necessarily need to create one. Yes, there's a high probability we will still do so, but in the meantime, again, I'm only looking for small moves in the market. So if we were to pull back to a previous level of resistance formed within the move down today, that being on more so the 30-minute time frame and 15, could look for, if we were to respect those levels, we could look for areas to sell from within this candle. Otherwise, we could also be looking for potential continuation options. We will mark in the current daily / weekly low. On to the daily time frame, as we can see, we are still technically bullish, but as I mentioned last week, as I mentioned to my guys in the weekend market update, it wasn't last week because this hadn't closed yet by the time I finished my stream. What I did suggest this is kind of pulled up in the middle of nowhere. So yes, it'd be all about whether we break the high or the low of that previous daily as to where I think we're more likely to trend in for the first day or so of the week. So this candle suggests to me it's either a pause within price action or a potential reversal point. Now, why I'm more considering it to be a pause right now is because we still have traffic to the left, margin to the left, to the daily support. And we've now got that lower high, lower low. So off the back of that, once again, I'd be more inclined to look for the sells off the back of that, just the candle formation on that daily time frame. But we do know, however, that structurally we are bullish. Onto the 4 hour, and the 4 hour structure did flip back bullish late last week towards the mid of the week, and we still do remain bullish on the 4 hour. We will remain bullish as long as we remain above this 32.22 sort of region. But once again, what we can see is we've just recently closed below a support here on the 4 hour time frame. So we are creating some lower highs, lower lows within the trend itself, within the structure itself. So we could use that to our advantage if we were to look for any potential sells. Now, let's mark in the current 4 hour candles high. Let's just see if we have any catalyst above that level to potentially look for options to buy it. Let's also mark in a low as well, actually, guys, and just see. To the left, just below the daily low, we can see you've got a little bit more support here. So looks a bit clean below that point there. We're just going to mark that in. As far as the resistance, I mean, it's miles off. I'm not going to bother with it for the time being. I'll mark it in on the 30-minute time frame, but we would be marking normally in this level here and at 33.40, but we are a fair distance off it at the moment. So bullish in structure, but once again, trading bearish within the 4-hour micro trend. Onto the 30, and that is in fact bearish. So there we go, guys. For me today, what I am going to be looking for is, well, I'm just going to mark in some levels here, by the way. Going to mark in that whole level. I may adjust it later on, but for the meantime, what I'm going to be looking for is price to pull back to a previous resistance form once again within that daily candle. And if we were to respect that level, all I have to do is look for a price action catalyst to look for an option to sell it back down towards the daily low. So going to be looking for the sells below really 32.83 to 32.90, that sort of region, upon the right catalyst. Now the catalyst to buy it, irrespective of the daily candle probabilities being to the downside, remembering we got that weekly candle still did close back bullish the previous weekly candle, perhaps we are creating that lower wick on the new weekly before we end up flipping and heading back up. So if we were to bounce off the support here, the 4-hour level to the left hand side, so we have tapped into it once already today. If we were to now create that higher high within the 30-minute structure, flip that time frame bullish, then I would by all means be contemplating buy options from above 32.90. So be waiting for the closure above. May consider it on the 15. I would prefer the 30-minute closure, to be honest. So the 15 correlating with the 30 closure, which would flip the structure back bullish, but otherwise I still will consider it. So basically want to see closures above 32.90 for the buy options at the minute. Otherwise I'm going to be favoring the sells. The current level, look, if we form some more support just here, we may be able to get involved in some sells below this current level, but we'll have to wait and see. Need a little bit more data to print before we can consider that. Otherwise, guys, next option is not below the daily low, below the support here. We can just drag that up a tiny bit by the looks of things. Yeah, so next option would be for sells below 32.53. If we were to respect, again on the pullback within the current day's candle, if we were to respect resistance, hit back down, create a lower low, that's the level I want to see price begin to close below. And once again, we've got some pretty clean track below it. So that is my analysis of the gold. Make of that what you will. If you did appreciate it, smash the like button, smash the screen, TikTok, YouTube, smash the like button. And we will have a look at GJ. So we're kind of in the middle of a range just now, gold. So no stress, no rush. Just wait patiently. You know, when we do that, there's a good chance we're going to be on the end of a winning trade if we get the option on stream. Alrighty, guys, on to GJ. And similar to gold, but in the opposite direction, we have forming a bullish candle with no lower wick. So once again, do we necessarily need to create one? Not really. What are the chances of us actually pulling back to create one? Quite high. And even more so in this case because we're at a very strong resistance on the higher time frame. But just based off pure price action, guys, when we see candles closing like so, leaving a long wick to the downside, closing up near its high, a lot of the time it's followed by a candle that either makes a small low wick or no low wick and pops straight back, pops straight up off the back of the liquidity grab from that previous candle. So GJ is doing that just now. It's popped straight up, tapped into a resistance. I would call that weak bullish, but closing up near its high, liquidity candle. So it would suggest further upside, but based off the level we're at, would not be at all surprised we do come back down. Daily, as we can see, we're at that resistance. So far respecting it. Structurally, we do still remain bearish, but once again, we are creating high lows, high highs within price action. I am fully aware of that. So let's just mark in a current daily candle's low. Well, it's also marking a current daily high. I want to see what we've got either side of it. Seeing it is a bullish candle on the daily, we may actually find we have some clean traffic once we go down to the 4-hour and M30. So as far as, sorry, let's go down to 4-hour before we draw our levels. So we know we're bearish on the daily, bullish on the weekly. 4-hour structure definitely is bullish, creating some really nice structure too. And we do have some clean traffic on the 4-hour above the current daily candles high. So that is the most recent resistance as far as support. Back at this swing point here. So long as we remain above 192.355, structure will remain bullish on the daily 4-hour time frame. But once again, the structure itself is looking good, very clean structure. That candle though, the previous candle, the way it closed, normally in most situations, if we were to break it, it would suggest it's just a pause within price action and we could continue to the upside. So off the back of that, it's likely we're going to be looking for buys above that previous 4-hour candles high. And we may also be looking for the fact that if it does reject and break its low, popping below some resistance here to the left, then we may in fact pull back a little bit further. So we'll mark that level in for our low and we'll see what, if any, catalyst we may have on the minor time frame. Alrighty guys, so on to the 30. I'm just going to adjust this up now and we'll add another zone. So we know we're at the 4-hour resistance just now, so I'm marking in gray. Look at that. So as far as a catalyst, very, very simple. Structure will flip technically below that wick I've just dragged the zone across to on the 30. That is below the 4-hour low. So that's our catalyst. You see how I'm painting the picture, guys? If we were to begin to break that 4-hour candles low, the previous 4-hour candles low, which did close the doji, which could act as either a reversal or just a pause for us to continue up. If we were to break it, all I'm going to be doing is waiting for closure below on the 30, retest, and that's a very highly probable trade for us to get involved in anticipation price will come back down to finally create that lower wick in the weekly, and then we're at some pretty strong support yet again. So that is my sell idea for GJ. I'll keep that in gray, seeing it is the previous level to the left. As far as the buys, guys, so yes, it's at a 4-hour resistance. Previous candle, that wick, to me, could reject anywhere within it. But when we're looking at in the 30, actually is quite clean, isn't it? Above the pause. So once again, we've retested and respected the last significant high low on the 30-minute time frame, respecting structure. If we were to now pop back up and engulf that pause candle, we've got clean traffic to the left, then I would be looking for options to buy back up to the daily high. So buys above 194.14 and 194.014, sorry. Something like so. You guys get the drift. And that is my analysis of GJ. Further options above the high. As I mentioned, if we begin to break above that 4-hour candles high, likely just a pause for us to continue bullish, and we do have clean traffic to the left above that zone as well. So that is what I'll be waiting for in GJ. Either we can get the option here. If it takes off just now, I'm not going to take it. It's kind of closed in the opposite direction to the way I would have wanted it to close. I would have preferred for this count to close weak bearish with a long lower wick as opposed to a long upper wick. So that is GJ. Preferring the buys on it. Put the sells below this point here. And hopefully that does make sense. So gold at the minute, I'm preferring to sell so long as we remain below 32.90, and for GJ I'm preferring to buy so long as we remain above 193.650 roughly. So at the minute it looks like GJ is closer to an entry, so let's maybe keep an eye on that. And I'll get to the questions and to all of you in the chat. YouTube, thank you to my loyal team on YouTube. Lau, Jack, Franco, Barman, appreciate it. Kyle, good morning to you, mate. Tony Gold, nice one. Kyle, pretty much the same outlook. Nice one, bro. And TikTok, thank you to all new followers. Welcome to everyone on the stream currently. Do appreciate the support. Arafin got wrecked at market open. I never ever trade market open. It's very, very risky, to be honest. I don't hold trades over the weekend as well. Again, it's just very, very risky because you don't know, especially with all the news about the minute, what could happen. And obviously I'm assuming you're referring to gold, and it just melted at the open, so hopefully won't happen again, my friend. Sorry to hear it, but yeah, just gotta have a plan for that. Gotta be a little bit more careful with that moving forward. But just don't do anything stupid. Don't try to chase it. Just reassess, come up with a new plan, and wait patiently. Pratuk, g'day to you, mate. Welcome. Agent session did great. Nice to hear. Visionary, where's the volume profile? I don't use it. I don't use indicators at all, mate. It's pure simple price action. Use zones. I could quite honestly trade like that without any issue whatsoever. But took Mondays are usually with low volatility. I would short near 32.85 trend continuation. Yeah, Mondays can often be met by low volatility. Can also be met by crazy moves low off the back of whatever went on over the weekend. So you're saying 32, I think you said 85. Sorry, the chat's just moved on. 32.85. Yeah, that'd be a level I'd be also interested in looking for options to sell it from as well. Yeah. So I'm more in favor of the sells at the minute on gold, as long as they remain below 32.90. Arafin, yeah, I hope we found a nice recovery trade today. Yeah, we just getting follow the plan, man. Don't jump into anything second rate. F90, g'day to you. Hope you're well. US 100. I'll look at for you in a sec. So NASDAQ. Okay, FX selling now. Fair enough, mate. I'm just waiting. Been over my plan for gold and GJ. GJ close to 20 potential entry. NAS. Personally wouldn't touch it at all this time of day. I think it's wise to trade it when it's in session or coming to pre-session. So I wouldn't be going near it, but each their own. The weekly, well, the previous weekly was weak bearish, but we are now well and truly engulfing it. No lower wick as well. So a lot of these pairs have no wicks in opposite direction. Assuming off the back of whatever news may have affected particular pairs over the weekend. So NAS, I would now call it bullish, irrespective of that previous weekly closure. For the simple reason we are engulfing it, we're not close, sorry, we're popped above a resistance here to the left. That could obviously change if we begin to pull back, but I would say strong bullish on the weekly, daily. Structure wise, if I'm not mistaken, had flipped bullish, still is. Got some resistance we've just recently broken out on. If we want to really remain above that point, it's going to be a 4-hour resistance as well. Bullish in structure on the daily. 4-hour is also bullish. Yeah, so to me, it's likely going to be about how price reacts if it does pull back to that 2361 sort of region. So it's bullish on NAVs on the 4-hour as well. Assuming the M30 will be bullish. Let's look to the left on the 4-hour first. Heading into some resistance. Still got a bit of margin by the looks of things on the 4-hour time frame. Quickly look at it on the 30 and then go down to 15. 30 is also pretty clean. It's at a bit of a resistance here to the left, but above it, it's into some clean traffic yet again. So, all right, it's not trending at all for the time being. It's very slow. So I would say for NAS, you, again, my honest opinion of it would be to wait for it to do this. If it does it just now, come close to MY, pre-MY. If you get the closure above, that may be enough to suggest we're heading up to that floor resistance. Otherwise, I would look for price to pull back towards 2361, form support again above previous resistance, and look for my options to buy it. That is what I'd be personally looking out for on NAS. I think it's a little bit too early to bother with it. but I don't personally trade it, so maybe you know more than I do when it comes to how it moves around this time of day. All right, GJ breaking. So whilst that was a 30 closure and 30 still open, the only thing I would consider is a 15-minute limit order interruption play. So for that to be valid, it has to close about 6 to 8 pips above. It doesn't look likely, to be honest. It needs to close at that point, at 6 pips above. If it does close that point, potentially limit order option on the GJ back at the high of that bearish candle. So we'll see 3 and a bit minutes. Okay, shorting GJ. No, I'm looking to buy it. If any, F90, all good, mate. Amante, why do you use footprint charge for that type of trade? I think you get really good information. Why you don't use footprint? You're talking about order flow, order book, or whatever. Again, I don't feel I need to be honest, man. Maybe, yeah, maybe, look, who knows, maybe I could add confluence to an entry. Maybe GJ will set up, we'll see. But I just don't feel I need it. Alright, so what is the highest point of that bearish candle? 194.011. Now stop loss would be below the previous M15. Let's quickly look at that. What would that be? It's not a wide one. It's only about 12 pips. So let's wait patiently and see if the rule is ticked off. We can take a look at gold. All right, so not bad on gold. It's heading back towards a level I like it to. You know, always get involved in a sell to give us more margin to take a sell back down. Now that we've also formed support at this point here, let's just mark it in because we may even have options below it. All right, guys, just under a minute and a half. Let's wait for JJ. ten studio. What's gold saying right now? Gold is what's dropped without an upper wick to begin the day, and now just waiting to see if it's going to respect levels it has recently created within the Asian session of resistance. So look for options to sell it back down in line with the daily candle. Otherwise, if we close above this point, I'm going to flip some structure at a 4-hour support, so be enough to look for options to buy it. All right, JJ pulling back, so it looks like we may not have a valid entry. Michael Schofield, I chose with lot on 0.4 right before market closed on Friday. Is sold. Nice one. Still a little bit risky, in my personal opinion, holding it over the weekend. The way things are with all the news about of late. Wars, tariffs, everything. It's just, you know, a crazy time around the world. So in studio, all good. All right, so GJ is not going to be valid, nor would I consider a continuation trade because got a long upper wick, still going against that 30. So now I need to wait for the 30 minutes to close. Same idea. Just go up the time frame. So we've got to wait now just under 15 minutes to see if the 30 will close above that point. To my members, apologies, I always forget the link. Get it ready and I forget to send it. There it is. Issue fixed with the link for anyone who was trying to click on the link to the WAP. Michael, too risky, I know, but got a little inside information. Lucky you, my friend. Feel free to share it. F90 wise, M15 not enough on GJ is this in this case. As far as continuation, well, first of all, M15 I don't trust as much on GJ. Don't feel it has the volume. Well, obviously it doesn't have the volume of gold. But in this particular case, it's left quite a significant upper wick. So, you know, you're banking on it in 15 minutes time, creating a low wick, pushing back up. So within 30, you're banking on 30 being a really, really strong candle, pretty much making a move up to the resistance. So off the back of the 30-minute closing back bearish, I would prefer to wait for that time frame to close back above it. And the only other time I would have considered it, like I said, is the limit order, because at least at that point we've convincingly engulfed the pause. What we are likely to do in the new 15 is pull back to create a bit of low wick. And that point there, likely destination from, again, my data and my entries, my entry models, whatever you like to call them, is for it to pull back to tap into that level, where it's likely, if it is to continue strong bullish and close above the resistance, it's likely going to hold that point. And perhaps by the time the 30 closes, push to profit to a TP, or if nothing else, it's highly probable it will end up closing back above that resistance. So this is the way I go about it. For me right now, obviously it's not valid because I'm rule based and did not tick the box, so I'm still going to leave that in case the 30 ends up closing at that point. Michael, last time doing it. Yeah, you just gotta be careful with it, mate. Visal, good day to you. Am I buying JJ? No, I'm waiting for the 30 now. So the 30 doesn't necessarily need to close above that horizontal. That's just for the limit order, but I want it to close close to it. If not, I don't. Last thing I want it to do is leave a long upper wick. I don't like it. It's not a pattern with price action that I'm familiar with. It does suggest rejection as well. We actually have rejected. I know we've cleared it up and down prior to the current price action, but to the left of that, did reject multiple times at this level. So really want to be a strong closure above now. I don't trade wick fills. I'm not into all that crap. Not crap, but I just don't trade it. It's not me. So I want this to actually prove to me that it is a nice strong catalyst, and we have closed a really good strong body candle, and that would be enough to suggest to me either I can get involved in the limit order or the continuation buy as it begins to break the high. Oh, one little issue, not a great deal of margin. There isn't a great deal of margin at the minute on GJ in any of these ranges. So if I did take it, I would need to get to break even because as quickly as possible, because there's not even 10 pips to the actual high of the day. That's something I normally would not even trade into, because you just need more margin than that. I mean, that type of thing could go low on your risk profile. It's good to have dynamic risk, so grade the trade. It's a higher probability trade. Obviously go your normal type of risk. It's a good trade, but maybe a little bit impulsive or riskier side, you maybe drop down a little bit. And if it's very risky and impulsive, and on a Monday or a Friday, I go to the lowest trading size. So I would really prefer the limit order because we'll have more margin. So that is the preference for it to close above that horizontal. Flock trade futures. Some say futures is less, or not even manipulated, or is less manipulated. Once again, thank you to all new followers. Appreciate it, guys. So we have been smashing it on the stream. Our first loss in quite some time last Wednesday, but that was only to be followed by a cracking trade on the Thursday. So it's 17th in the past 18, but who's counting? Hey. We've been in some really good form. Last week was a very good week in the end. Alright guys, so 6 minutes remaining. Now, if it closed like so, there could be almost a valid continuation play. Let's go down to the 5-minute here. Alright, we've tapped in. I would have preferred a candle closing back in the opposite direction though. Again, the preference will be the limit order play because we'll have more margin at that point. You have about 18, 19 pips as opposed to about 9. So we'd prefer it to close above that horizontal, and that will give me a valid limit order play on what I call the interruption candle. That is the interruption. Had a move up, impulse up, pause, engulfing. And that's the interruption. So let's see. Meantime, guys, just give me 1 minute. I'll be back very quickly. Oh, wow. Man moves away from his chair for a minute, and look what JJ does. Well, it looks like we made close above. So I wanted to reject a bit and close just above. That would be ideal. Okay, better hurry. Oh, Finn, you just got wrecked by gold again? Is that what you're saying? Man, oh man, are you following a plan? What are you doing, my friend? In fact, that has to go there because that's a 30 support. Yeah, I don't know, mate. Sounds like you may have issues with your emotions at the minute. You need to chill a little bit. I mean, right now, gold, to me, gold's just nothing. It's just consolidating. There's really no clear direction other than the way the daily is forming. I'd rather trade in line with that. Yeah. Sorry to hear it, my friend. GJ, I can't tap in. If it taps in, it's tapped into target. So let's watch it. Want it to drop a little bit. Want it to leave a bit of an upper wick. Now, there's no buy above the high. Forget it. And the next option for just take off could be, again, above that daily high. We've got clean traffic to left above that point. So it's not like it's gone. Still could be options. Feel good out to you, mate. Hope you're well. Alright, it's looking alright. It's looking like we could get a valid entry. Now, it cannot break the high of that previous candle. The following candle. Has to close above this horizontal. It is pulling back a bit just now, but it looks like we will still close above it. So if that's the case, then I got a valid limit order on the interruption play. So wait 30 seconds, guys. And what I'm currently looking at is that. Stop loss will be below to 30, so it's going to be really narrow stop loss. It'll be about 11 pips. Alright, so we've got a valid option, guys, but the new candle cannot, and I stress it, cannot break the high of that previous. If it breaks it, now this is what we want. We want it to pop straight down. We don't want it to even create the upper wick. If it, especially after it's popped down a little bit, if it pops up to create a decent upper wick, then it has no real need to pop back down and break its own low again. That's just shot up with a wick that we didn't even see it create. So I mean, that's all right. I'm still keeping it in, but we don't want, the last thing we want for it to do is now pop up and break its own high again. If it does so, I think it's create a deeper upper wick, then begin to reject, then I feel there's a high probability it's going to end up coming back down and potentially closing a strong bearish candle, because it doesn't necessarily need to pull back. If it was to continue bearish, doesn't need to pull back and break its own high again. So not in yet, obviously. If this candle flips and breaks zone high, I'm not liking it anymore. So this is good. It's popping down quick with volume. This is what you want to do. Get triggered in very early. And I'm in. Wow, look at that volume. So generally speaking, as it flips, you want to get to break even. I want to get to break even pretty early in this case. So we'll see. At about 3 pips on the table. Once it gets about 6 or 7, I'll probably get to break even. So we're trading in a very narrow range here. And as far as trade management, there's not a great deal we can do about it. It's a very small stop loss. But we'll see. Chris, morning to you, mate. Gold bull trade, all good, my friend. Welcome, welcome. So the entry was at 11, so I've got about 3.5 pips on the table. Here we go. At about 6.5. Alright, I'm gonna get to break even, guys. Seeing we're trading within the range, we've got 6.5 pips on the table. Don't want to take a loss. Trading a narrow range in a minute. Almost got enough to get to TP1. So I'm now at break even, we'll see. Got 8 pips. Pop up a little bit higher. Solana Andrew, how do you search DJ? Gbpjpy, my friend. Robbie, Hammerstick. Alright, I actually closed half at 8.5 just to get a little bit off the table. It's a small win, but again, it's a narrow range, guys. So it was a small stop loss as well. So it's just to get something under the belt to begin. And we'll see how the rest goes. So you should have around 8.5 pips on the table at the minute. It was pretty much a zero drawdown trade, which is good. Stanley, good morning, please. What pair is this? This is Great British Pound JPY, my friend. It's a nice and quick one without any drawdown, but in this situation, the interruption play, this is pretty much ideally how you want to get triggered in. The preference would be for it to not even have an upper wick though, but you'd like for it to trigger you in within the first 5 minutes of the new candle, because then you got ample time for it to reject if it is to respect that level and bounce off it. You've also got ample time for it to continue though in the opposite direction. But if it's to trigger you in, the issue is if it's to trigger you in the last 5 to 10 minutes, in my opinion, it's a high probability that will end up closing back a bearish candle. And then your main issue would be, for instance, if it did close like so, the new candle, you've all of a sudden got candle probabilities being to the downside. The new candle, if it began creating upper wick and begins to head back down, it's likely going to end up closing a strong bearish candle, and then you obviously take it out. So That's why I want to be triggered in preferably in the first 5 minutes. Chris, lot size, it just varies, mate. I use fixed lots. So I've mentioned it many times that it's not, I don't trade crazy lots. I mean, the most, apart from on the, when I had the funded account, that was a different story. That was a 300k account. But for the most part, it's only, it's not, you know, it's between the 2 and maybe 50 cent, to be honest. Sometimes a little bit more, just depends. Roger Kayani, what time frame? This is the 30. That's where, look, this entry is valid on pretty much as low as the 5 minute, but I don't really, I use it very sparingly on the 5 minute, to be honest. More so on gold, if anything. But on the 15, it's just a stronger confirmation as the 30, in my opinion. The 15, what you had here is the zone to zone limit order, but within it, you've got the 30 interruption play. So it's a few different entry types that I have. And again, it's a very high probability entry. But you want to get triggered in very quickly into the new candle. Everyone on TikTok, by the way, I'm streaming live on YouTube as well, so if you can't find me on TikTok, you guys know where to find me. It's the exact same profile name. Make sure to sub to YouTube as well. So the 5 minute looks like we could continue, to be honest. Leaving a long wick, tapping into that, that's what triggered us into the trade initially. Closing back weak bearish, so we created that lower wick, we got no upper wick on the current 5 minute. So let's see if that's going to keep us in. If it does flip and close back bullish, then there's a good chance this thing could make it up to the daily high. So still got eight pips on the table again, so did not have any drawdown at all this trade, so cracking entry. And there we go, there's pretty much, there's TP1, guys. For anyone who was strict holding until it actually flipped, that is where I would secure profit in this particular case. It did flip on my broker and it had more than 10 pips on the table, so good work, guys. Great start to the week. And the hot form continues. Anyone managed to get an entry? Robbie, I use 1 cent for now, demo account. Okay, gotta start somewhere, mate. So as long as you're practicing proper risk management, which sounds like you are, and you're practicing good trading habits, sticking to a plan, following your rules, that's the main thing, mate. Anyone hate this trade? Anyone follow along? Franco? No? All good, mate. Cracking entry. You've got 10 pips again right now. With 0 drawdown. Once again, guys, following the rules. Sticking to my plan, following my rules. Chris, just missed it. All good. F90, nice one. Gold just consolidating at the minute, so there's nothing really on gold. All good. We'll keep still a bit of an eye on it. Got just under 20 minutes until session open. Franco didn't set limit order. All good, mate. Still very early, obviously, into proceedings, so. Jeffrey, g'day to you. Great Bridge Pound JPY, GJ. do trade gold, that is my preference, but there's just nothing for me to trade on gold at the minute. So my secondary pair is GJ, Great British Pound JPY, and that gave me a valid entry. So I journal it for my team. It goes into an interactive journal. I go into full detail with screenshots. I do a video as to why I took it, what was the rule, what happened, why it was valid, or what, and then obviously how I managed the trade. That all goes into the interactive trade journal. So it gives my guys an idea of why I took the entry, what my thought process was, and how I went about managing it. So, like so. Yeah, so it's a good way to go about it. It gives my guys an idea, more of an idea of why I took an entry. Maybe, you know, off that they can learn a lot moving forward. Jack? Okay, nice one. Well done, mate. GU and heavy consolidation at the minute. Doesn't look clean, to be honest. It looks a little bit tricky. Normally in this situation, need to let it show its hand, create a move, and look to pick up the pieces. So right now, similar to, again, no wick, no upper wick in this case. So I would want it to actually show its hand first, let it create some moves. It's stuck in a bit of a range here. Just mark the resistance, wire level. Yeah, in this situation, I would let it create a move to either side of the resistance or support. And to be honest, I wouldn't be necessarily looking to buy it above this level because you're running straight into more resistance to the left. Just needs to create some clean moves at the minute. Let it open up the traffic a bit. Really not interested in GU. I'm sure Franco might have an opinion of GU. Feel free to share if you do, mate. Alright, so the 15th closing a pause candle. Now this is another catalyst usually for me to buy, but there is no margin, so I would not consider it. You're back at 10 pips again. Wow, this is really looking good. So my initial stop loss is 11 pips. I've got 12. Just gonna close another partial there, and that's it. I'm gonna let the rest run. And look at that, thing of beauty. Great start to the week. Chris, all good, mate. Not a problem, mate. Thoughts on H-bar? John B, I don't trade crypto. Bastion? No, I'm in a long on GJ and not interested in taking it short, especially off the back of that. No way. How did gold close the 15? So again, we're still consolidating. Nothing on gold has changed. Pranil, all good, mate. So like I mentioned, guys, I mentioned it a lot. Yeah, sometimes we wait, we sit, we get nothing. And I know some people don't like it. Some people complain, you never take a trade. But like I said, some days we get multiple options. Some weeks we get options day after day after day. I'm just going to follow the rules because look what happens when we do. Look at it. Not by fluke, guys. This is 8 years of experience, more than 8 years of experience, and hard work, back testing, forward testing, all that stuff. Brimman, when do you usually trade gold? In my London or Asia? London, and well, to be honest, I like it during the Asian session, but I'm not really on the charts for it that often. And MY into pre-MY, if I am on the chart, I will look at it. But yes, gold is my preference. I do prefer trading gold. I enjoy the volume, the way it moves. I enjoy the fact that trades are usually over and done with pretty quickly. Another reason why I do like GJ being across, it is usually full of volume. But of late, not as much. These ranges are a lot narrower than what we're really used to on GJ. I mean, this one itself was only 20 pips. That's why I preference the limit order. So, yeah, I do prefer gold. Robbie, not in a minute. But I obviously keep an eye on it. Bastion last night, short was great. Market seems to go bull indeed. Gold? Yeah, it's not popped up yet, but I have a plan for buys, and that's upon the confirmation of the 30-minute structure flipping back bullish after tapping into a 4-hour level of support here to the left. That would be my catalyst to buy. Otherwise, I am in preference of sells. Neo, at the minute, yes. Bastion, looked into it. Was kind of working on one. But that's taking a bit of a back burner at the moment. Bruins, so London and MI sometimes. Yeah, look, again, with my group, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I trade the open. Pre-MI to the open. Sometimes Thursday, Monday, sometimes pre-MI. Monday's education session, that is today. That is usually about an hour and a half after the stream. Look at GJ go. Look at that. Beautiful trade. Slushy, I appreciate the share. Thank you. Franco, you sent your GU analysis. Okay, let me have a look. So yeah, because it's quite tricky at the minute. So you're contemplating some sells below current support. Below this point here, is that what time frame is that, by the way? That's the 30. All right, it looks a bit clearer in your particular chart, because here don't have the gap, which has got some consolidation. All right, at the back of that, I mean, it does look okay. Yeah, otherwise I think even you've got the same ideas where you just need to wait for it to create some moves to cut through. That's fair enough. But thank you for sharing that. GJ close to tap into a full TP. It's 9 minutes until session open, guys. just chilling for the time being. And just to my members as well who might be watching, any questions? It is again education day, so any questions, if you, even if you can't make the call, chuck it in the chat and I will be sure to answer it for you. Again, it will be recorded, so it's yeah, so send those questions in. Awfully quiet bunch today. Understand it, it's Monday, I get it. Still early morning for a lot of you. Visal, GJ going well right now. It is, my friend. Very much so. Once again, zero drawdown on that. What a trade it was for anyone who did follow along. So I'm assuming you're in either, let me have a go at this, because I know Thailand is almost 2 p.m, but not sure if you'll be there. Maybe Malaysia. I think that's 1 p.m. right now. Pretty sure it's an hour behind. Could be Indonesia, but again, I think that's 4 hours. No, 2 hours, 3. No, I'm sorry, I think I'm getting it wrong. Yeah, I'm assuming it's one of the 3. Could be Singapore as well. Or Philippines. Cambodia, sorry brother, sorry. Fascinated by it, to be honest. I would love to go. Whereabouts in Cambodia, buddy? Lots of Cambodians here in Melbourne, man. Heaps. A lot more than what I thought. There's every week I meet new ones. No, it's a beautiful place what I've seen. Obviously, I spend a lot of time in Thailand, but I would love to go to Cambodia. Neo leverage, well, it's 1 to 30 here in Oz. Under ASIC regulations, that's all we get, 1 to 30, and that's enough. The issue with once you have more, yeah, it's great because you can throw more trades on, whatever. You can also do more damage to your account if you've been greedy, or if you know, say yourself, right, I've got a cracking entry here, I'm just going to double my lot size, and you get wrecked. And you wish you hadn't. So it's good because in that respect, yes, you are restricted, but you shouldn't really be risking more than that, to be honest. You know, 1 to 30 is plenty to get some decent return. Doesn't make it easy for me to open multiple trades at once, though, that's for sure. Trading info, what coin? It's not. This is currency. This is Forex currency, foreign exchange. So this is Great British Pound JPY, and that was my trade. Still going well in profit, the runner. Gold is just consolidating, so this is spot gold. It's my preference, but there's just nothing on it right now. Arafin, that's your issue, mate. 1 to 500. Yeah, man. It's not worth it. You're obviously over leveraging, over risking. Neo, how much entered today in your long position? How much entered? Well, I mentioned before what type of position sizes I usually cover. Today was on the second spectrum of what I call risk. I think it was a high probability trade, but it's a Monday. So Monday is generally lighter, like Monday and Friday. Nicole, what can I do if you miss it? I took a trade about 20 minutes ago, 0 drawdown. I think you mentioned it last week, and you didn't stick around because that same day took a cracking gold trade with no drawdown, 70 pips. So you just go stick around, my friend. What can I do if you're not on when I take a trade? I've traded the last 3 streams. It's actually not Friday. Apologies, Friday wasn't on long. So I can't do anything about it if you're not here. I can't tell you if it's going to be just at the very beginning or it's going to be at the end. It turns out the last few have generally been right at the end of the stream. This one was right near the beginning. Got the confirmation, 0 drawdown, GJ. Some took it. So you gotta just chill. You gotta chill. You gotta chill, mate. You gotta either stick around or make sure to be here from the beginning. And I give out a lot of free education on the stream. And I stick true to my rules and my plan because I know when I do, this is what likely is going to happen. No drawdown. Hit TP quickly. Job done. Thank you, mother, for the rabbits. Again, trading made it easy. You just chill. Raja Kayani, what time you normally start your live stream? UK time? Well, wow, look at that. There goes TP. I got slipped on TP. Isn't that freaking fantastic? I just got slipped on the TP. I know I got slipped big time. Wow, not sure what's going on, but that is job done. What a cracking trade. I got slipped on TP big time. You gotta love that. Absolutely love that. What's going on, guys? This gold is melting too, by the way. Something must be breaking. Wow. Well, that's a good start to the week. What is going on? If anyone has any idea? Let's take a look at financial juice. That is usually up to speed. I love that. It's not great to get slipped on a stop loss, but it's fantastic to get slipped in profit. Okay, it's this. So it's London Open, and we've had news right at the open. Big news too. US tariffs on China to include a 10% base plus 20% fentanyl levy. US and China to change tariff rate by May 14. There you go. I would not be surprised if gold completely dumps for a bit, not for the long haul. But what that would suggest is there's likely going to be enthusiasm in the markets. Risk will be on. If China and America have announced they're close to a deal, or they've got a deal pending, likely risk will be on, meaning NAS, Bitcoin. Look at that, NAS just popped straight up. Bitcoin, exact same shit. Wow. Don't be surprised if gold takes a bit of a drop. Again, I don't think it's anything for the long haul. Silver as well. I love it if silver tanks. I really want to tank so I can get... Again, for me, silver is the best investment opportunity out there. Not investment advice. Well, game over, guys. There's really not much you can do at the minute. I mean, gold is still maybe at a level, but after that, you just gotta let shit settle down again. Kyle, you still in now, or you? I got slipped big time on my TP. What a trade that was. Phil, news is tariffs of China and America coming to some sort of agreement. Franco DXY is flying. Visal, nice one, brother. Good work. Aaron, yeah, 100% reduction on tariffs on China. So, wow. What's going on with... Alright, so DXY is obviously on the way up. Yeah, I would have thought it'd be a good thing for the Aussie dollar because we are heavily reliant and correlated with China. Any news out of China? I think it's our #1 trade partner and, you know, obviously the biggest economy in the region. So obviously at the back of that, with the Aussie dollars popped straight up, but it's now equalizing, coming back down. How's that to begin the week? What a cracking start. That turns a small trade into a good trade, like into quite a substantial return, to be honest. Sweetie Pie broke, I'll type it into the chat. You went long? I was in a long, but TP shattered. How's it going now, Nicole? Any comments? Yeah, sweet pie trade deal. Yep. Alright, friends, just liquidate an account. Man, oh man, what are you doing? You jumped straight back in. You just said to me you got wrecked by Gold Scalp. You said to me you got wrecked by Market Open. Man, oh man, how many trades are you taking, my brother? You need to chill. You said, yeah, lesson learned after you mentioned at the beginning you got wrecked at Market Open. And since taking 2 more trades, bro, seems like you're not following any rules. That's... Chrissy, thank you for the sticker, by the way. I'm sorry, my friend, but you need to have these rules. It's man, I can't stress how important it is. Your fun account, Arafin. You're 120 pips up And you've... Brother. Don't mean to be rude, bro, but what are you doing? I don't like hearing this. I don't like seeing it. I tell you, none of my guys would have any of those issues. No chance. Yeah, you instantly saw the spike. Solo Andrew, what site do you use for news? Financial Juice is better. Probably should just stick to that all the time. But Forex Factory is like the stock standard everyone uses. But this one's more up to date, Financial Juice. So obviously that's the breaking news, and that's what's caused the markets to do its thing at the minute. Zim, London sessions, landing a red candle. What does it tell us? Yeah, 50 quid in 50 seconds. 50 quid in seconds. It's great, mate, isn't it? It's great when that happens. Well, what it's telling me is the fact that, I mean, daily's putting a very strong bearish candle, and as I mentioned to my guys in the end of week market update, or beginning of week, we break this candle's low, there's a high probability we're going to tap into the support, because this is just a pause within the range on the high time frame, and it looks like that's where we're the likely destination. So once again, I'm just looking for areas within the daily for price to pull back, reject, and sell. If we begin to pop above it, still the same point here, we're going to flip the structure. We'll have the confirmation just a little bit lower down here of the structure flip, but it's so much cleaner to wait for it to get above 32.90. And that's the only time at this stage I'll be looking for buys. It's very, very bearish at the minute. I'm not going to try to catch a falling knife, because again, we saw what happened last Thursday. It melts through it like, you know, warm knife cutting through butter. And we got the buy eventually, waiting for the right confirmation. What a buy that was. That was 70 pips of out drawdown within about 5 minutes. So I'm not going to try to chase this. I'm not going to try to get involved. I'm just going to chill and wait. Come up with a plan. The plan at the minute would be for this to either continue right now and then look for a pullback and potential rejection of 32, 53, 55. 56, that sort of region, or even if it pops up a little bit higher to 32.68, or even, sorry, actually a little bit higher, around that 32.83. I just gotta wait for pullbacks. That's all I can do. I'm not gonna chase it. What a start to the week that was. Either way, the trade was a cracking trade. Just fantastic when you get news come out in your favor and it slips your TP. Makes it even better. Jack. I moved TP to higher, caught a big move. Nice one, brother. As long as you're following your plan and you've managed to secure the profit, I'm happy for you. Well done. Phil, tariffs, trade news between China and America. Carl had TP on GJ at 194.70. It just missed it. Oh man. Oh, very close. Have you secured anything? I'm assuming you have. You in a sell on EU, Phil? Well, that sounds great because it looks like you're in good profit right now, and a buy on EJ. Nice one, brother. Looks like you're also having a pretty good start to the week. Aaron, happens for my friend. Call it break even. What will be? Fair enough. Phil got lucky. Nah, no, not really, man. As long as you're following a plan. Yes, sometimes the news comes out in favor. But if you're in just following your plan, executing accordingly, it's not luck, man. Saxy, yep. China to lower tariffs on US goods, yep. Jack had a fat runner going, put it in Discord. Nice one, brother. Okay, in the Nice one, brother. Good work. Andy Roller, are you trading prop firms live? Live. Yep. And the misfortune of having a 300k prop firm account taken away from me for some bullshit made up rule when I was due a payout because they didn't want to pay. Bastion, your bot placed the short on what? Hoping on gold, man. Arafin, just the spike recover. Look, way I see it, eventually, but it doesn't mean it can't pull back further before it recovers. I mean, if you're asking me my thoughts on gold, it's extremely bullish moving forward in the future. I'm talking about longer term. Trading wise, it's right now it's quite bearish. So you could be, man, if you're still holding some positions, have a plan because this thing could still continue. I wouldn't be just buying it or holding it if you're, you know, stuck in a big, you know, loss at the minute. Yeah, I made that much because I haven't checked how many lots I was buying, so I thought 35 lots. Hold on, that. Yeah, something's not right there, my friend. If it was 35 lots, it would have made a lot more than 50 quid. Arafin Grid is the best of you, yeah. Man, you need a plan. You need a group, you need a mentor. But, just saying. Because that should not be happening. Bastion earned 32. Okay, nice one. Offline, GJ short into the gap. What is your confirmation of short it right now? It's very bullish. Narendra, about pullbacks, yep, at the minute. Neo G's, yep. Amy, what is most everyone made so far? No idea. What's your max stop loss? How many partials do you do? Sweetie Pie max stop loss. Look, it depends on gold. It's a lot larger of late because of the sheer volume. But I still would like to keep it around that 50, but for the most part it's been that. But I do manage it very quickly. I've shown on stream. I manage the trades really quickly. So GJ, I'm looking around the 30 pip usually. Will, I'm looking to enter buy on GJ if it retraces. Yeah, that's a good idea. Definitely. So obvious level it could retrace to now is 194.20. Level it's just broken out of. Still has room to the upside, so it still potentially could continue bullish for a little bit more. 194.80 would be a pretty good target. But yeah, the plan for me as well on GJ would be looking for pullbacks to buy it. And opposite on gold, pullbacks to sell it. So I've had the first 15 minutes of data print for London Open, and coincidence how news drops right at the open. Unreal. So gold, just gotta let it chill a bit. Zara, can I ask you about, I'm assuming you mean ETH? a good invest this week. None of this is investment advice. First of all, crypto, I don't trade it. ETH is probably, in fact, it's the only crypto I actually have any of at the minute. I would not invest in it this week. I'd wait for a pullback personally, unless you dollar cost average. But for me, I think a logical level now would be about 2100 would be a decent pullback level to look for whoever buys. But the fact of the matter is, with risk on at the minute, it may not pull back. It may not pull back anytime soon. So have a plan, if whether it's DCA and just buy it periodically, the same amount every week or 2 weeks or month. As far as the longer term play, I think ETH's pretty solid. Yeah, GJ just got lit to its thing. Same on gold. EJH, alright, so it was EJH. No idea. Apologies, I have no idea what it is. Dean, yep, Taran Hughes out, gold dumping, yep. Managed to, well, already in a rock solid GJ trade, just managed to help her along even more. Have I ever used non-CFD Forex brokers? No, I've not. All regulated brokers. Neo hinted after the spike has begun. Immediately closed it when I saw a huge profit. Nice one. It's a bit like NFP without NFP, if you know what I mean. US 30 parabolic, Narendra. Yeah, I mean, as obviously it's risk on NAS. Don't be surprised if NAS goes back up towards all-time high territory. So that's the thing, when news breaks and such a big shock, because from all reports and from what things were looking like, it's going to be a big trade war, which was going to shut down world economies and screw everyone. And all of a sudden it's risk on again, because apparently there's been a deal done. So, because I follow it very closely, I listen to many different economists and analysts, and they've been saying all this dead cat bounce on NAS, tech stocks, Bitcoin. I don't know if that's true anymore, to be honest. You got to take into account fundamentals. Yes, a lot of it's overinflated, but when people see what's going on with the news, all of a sudden they're not as worried. All of a sudden economies aren't going to shit the bed everywhere. People are going to be more enthusiastic to put money into the stock market again and things like that. Crypto is risk on, risky assets. So don't be surprised if Bitcoin, it's back up towards its all-time high, in NAS as well. And like I said, gold might take a breather for a bit, which I love. I really want to shit the bed. I would love for gold to drop to below 3. So I mean 2 will be even better, but I think it's a fat chance, to be honest. Neo on my phone, it's not ideal trade medium now. Yeah, you gotta be careful on your phone. I can't do it. I mean, I'm not saying I haven't done it recently, actually not for a few months, not this year I don't think, to be honest. So Andrew, yeah, so financial juice or Forex factory? Financial juice is the better one. Neo, yep, so financial juice is the preferred, but Forex factory is the one everyone seems to follow. So I might just follow financial juice to be different. Zara, yeah, I understand. Sorry, I have no idea because I don't follow stocks like that. All I follow is NAS as a whole, which is pretty much What is it? Magnificent 7 holds it up for the most part. I'll have a look. Household service holdings. So it's not that, because if it's... Yeah, I'm sorry, it's just a... I don't look at individual stocks like that, unless it's one of the big stocks. Alright, so not much we can do in the minute, guys. Just gotta let things settle down. Arafin, you're back. Deposit another 300 in my account. Wish me... Mate. Again, don't take it the wrong way, but you're a gambler, my friend. It's not the way you should be trading. You're better off just going to a casino, in all honesty. Just being honest, because I don't want to see you blow another 300 bucks in, minutes. You just need to chill, brother. Sounds like you don't have a trading plan. And there's no way I'll be interested in selling gold just then. Oh, it's still melting. But the fact of the matter is you've missed the best part of... It's been about 40, almost a $40 drop. 36 buck drop in minutes. Oh, it's a household one. So it's down 27%. Didn't you say it was up? To me it looked like it was down. Household Service Holdings Limited. Oh, okay, here. It's a new stock, but is it? Yeah, it looks quite new, like it was just newly listed. No data, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. You've got to let it form some structure. At the minute, there's no structure to it at all. It's just been a massive drop. So what I mean by that is let it form support in a 4 hour, create a impulse up, create a range, create a resistance, come back down, form a range. And then you can start to look for options within it or either side of it. But there's just not enough data for me to chart it or to worry about it, to be honest. Gold still melting. All good. That's why I keep an eye out. Don't want to miss the opportunity. Yeah, it's a bit tough for me to chart, to be honest, give you my opinion. No buy this week, 90 days non-tariffs. Potentially no buys, who knows, but I'm just going to be trading it what I see. If I see fit, if I have a catalyst to buy it, I will definitely do so. The minute, I definitely don't have a catalyst to buy it, nor do I really have one to sell it at the moment, because it's just shitting the bed, just need to wait. But I would prefer to sell it for sure. Zara, all good. Apologies, I don't know what it is. I have no knowledge of it. And the chart's just, yeah, it's not enough data. The portal, what's the stochastic RSI 14 you have on that? I don't have stochastic. I'm not using RSI or anything, mate. Gold dropping. Doing its thing, dropping. Potential buy. I'm not sure what to call it. Apologies, I can't read. I'm assuming it's Russian. 32.23. Let's see what's at that level. Yeah, there's definitely data at that level, but let's see, is it 4 hour? Yeah, it's tapping into a 4 hour support just now. So you'd be looking for some sort of reaction to that level. Now, after such a big drop, I would preference a 4 hour actually closing back bullish, and within it you want to see some structure form on the minor time frame. So 4 hours to close, maybe like so. Then you could correlate a entry on the new candle creating a high low, higher high. And I'm talking about the 4 hour, so as it begins to break, and within this 4 hour you want to start to see let me just quickly oops. So that's the 4 hour candle, for instance. Within it you want to see, you know, bit of data. I know it's gonna be a lot more candles than what I'm about to draw, but just so you guys get the picture. I want to start to see maybe a bit of this. So it could be from lower down. I think it's just dropping just now. Something like so. You guys get the picture. So you form a bit of structure, you create obviously a pullback, create a bit of a lower high, equal low or high low, and then you're waiting for, if you can correlate the new candle popping up and closing above the high, for instance, begin to move away on either the 30 or the 15. And that could be enough to suggest it's found a point where it could make a pullback. I would not look for to take a home to hit a home run. I'd be looking for it to retest a previous level, to reject and look for resistance. When I would look for that home run play is when we have a catalyst from a strong level of support. So this could be the 4 hour. Again, free education, guys. We take trades. I give out free education as well. Probably too much. What you need to see is a structure flip on the minor time frame from the 4 hour support. So at this rate, the structure flip's not till back above this level here. But if in the meantime it comes down and creates a lower low, and we have a swing point here, that could be the catalyst. This begins to bounce off its support to the left hand side. It flips the structure back bullish on the minor time frame. That could be your play to get in that for maybe a longer term hold, for like a swing trade. I mentioned a couple weeks back trade I sent into my members group, which played out absolutely perfectly. Unfortunately, I was trading my stop loss, so I didn't get the whole, but again, I'm not fast because I don't look to get massive entries. I ended up getting a fair chunk of it, but obviously it pushed a lot further, pushed like 150 bucks or something. I'm talking about gold. It went from like 3,200 all the way to 3,360 or something, for even higher. Went up to 34, 38. That was the entry I'm talking about here. I sent it into my group at the structure flip, got in, I routed up to these highs, and it came back down, took my runner out, and then went again. So it's the type of thing you could be looking for again, the same level as well. Oh, we hit TP. Well done, my friend. Great work. What a start to the week, guys. Thank you for explaining. All good. All good. My pleasure. Do you trade supply and demand sweep? Support resistance. Yeah, look, I have many ways to get involved. That's one of them. Narendra. Yeah, just click on the link in the profile. It's all fixed now, so you guys can access it. Before it just led you around to the same page, but now it actually leads you to check out. But for $1 a day, I mean, you get access to the course, which took me 15 months to put together. I go on a live call nearly every single day with my guys. I'll be on in about an hour and a half after today's stream. There's always something going on. Plus heaps more education, not just, of course, there's other pre-recorded content. Timmy and Chloe, think it's shakeout. I mean, could be, but off the back of the news. Is it gold down, America up? Yeah, at the minute. Timmy and Chloe before a new breakout. Yeah. What I think it's just price reacting to what was breaking the news. So that to me is good thing for risk on assets. It's a good thing for, you know, people wanting to invest in the stock market and that again. All of a sudden they're more bullish on the state of the world economy. The fact that the two leading economies of the world are coming to some agreement and trade. So in my opinion, yes, gold could continue down a bit, but I am so bullish on it for the long term. I would just see it as an opportunity. But again, I have a trading plan for it. I would know what I'm looking for. I know exactly what I'm looking for now, but it's way off any potential buy. So in a minute, I'm patiently waiting to see if maybe later on I can get involved in a sell. Good time to buy? Maybe, who knows? Timmy and Chloe, can it go to 2,500? I would love for it to go to that price, in all honesty. Thing is on gold, it's made such a clean move up, and usually instruments or assets, whatever you like to call it, that make such a substantial move without any solid retracement, at some point it's followed by a pretty significant pullback. A lot of the time it could be around that 50% of the impulse of the entire move up. If that's the case, you could probably say it's around at 2,500, so between 25 and 35. So the target I feel will be 3,000, which is lines up with some strong support as well. So I think that'd be a pretty good level for it to potentially pull back to. I'm not sure if 2,500 is on the cards. I would say it's more about that 3,000 region to begin. So as a gold, it's an opportunity to look, none of this is investment advice, so I've got to be very careful what I say. I personally consider gold something totally different. I consider it it retains your wealth. It's a hedge against weakening global currencies. All the currencies around the world are worth less and less. That's, I mean, inflation is proof of that. So I think it's a hedge against all that. So I think it's just sound money. That's what it is, to be honest. I think silver is as well. Chris, how long will you streaming for? Probably not much longer, man, because there's not much going on. No, got the move early on GJ and that's it. Timmy and Chloe, hope it goes that. That would be fantastic as well. I would love for it to go to that. You're about to buy this week, but dip, I'll wait. Perfect timing then, isn't it? Two is Marquitos. No, nothing. Where was the sell here? What was your confirmation? It was news, mate. Took this, took a GJ buy with confirmation right there, and look at that. Got slipped on my TP, which is fantastic. To me, Chloe, I buy it and make sure. Oh, okay, nice one. It's solid, very solid. You entered that position, made £500. Nice one. Good work, guys. Alrighty, team. Well, back of that, there's not much going on. That's just destroyed everything for the time being. So quite frankly, for me to get involved in trade, it'd be definitely a wait. It'd be a long wait for now, because I'd be looking for sell options and I'd be waiting for price to pull back to retest either most recent 4-hour support 32.53 and look for rejection and wait price action catalyst, or back pull up towards that 32.83 region. Still not interested in buying it until you got a catalyst, which will be a 30-minute structure flipping back bullish, which at this rate isn't till back above the resistance here, roughly at 32.90. That's a fair way off. Otherwise, like I mentioned before, wait for the 4-hour, wait for a stronger confirmation, a higher time frame, sorry, confirmation of support. So that being 4-hour, I would preference that. And if it closed bullish, then you can look for perhaps entries as the next candle begins to break. Again, using the 30-minute and the 15-minute time frames to get your entries, turn in on your entry points. DJ, just let it pull back. All you can do is just let it pull back to the level it's broken out of, wait for it to form support and look for options to buy it. Again, it's very bullish at the minute, so if it wasn't otherwise, I'd be again needing a catalyst to sell it. Not going to have it until below this support. But that's about it, guys. Narendra, silver is the best investment right now. If you check previous price, yep, silver is nowhere near its all-time high. I 100% agree with that. I'm very, very heavily into silver. I love it. All right, members, I will catch you guys in probably about 2 hours from now. About an hour and 45 to 2 hours from now. I'll keep you guys posted for the education session. Well done to anyone who got involved in GJ today. Great trade, 0 drawdown. Nice and easy job done. Appreciate all the support, guys. I'll be on tomorrow 30 minutes prior to London Open, so a little bit later than today. So just be wary of that. I will be on though. So I'll catch you guys then. Have a good one. Trade safe. Don't do anything stupid. Chill. Let the charts settle down. And yeah, see how things are later.
Nice.
Phil, good day, mate. Just about to finish the stream, brother, so I'll chat to you soon. Cheers, guys. Take care. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.